Hello and welcome. I am Scrapperlock, and this is City of Villains on the Rebirth server. We are with our Mastermind, Nightmare Lass, who has 1.7 million XP, 235,000 to go to get to level 33, and 3 more enhancement slots that we can use to enhance our powers, and 138 million infamy, which we can use to buy enhancements. We are on a story arc for Timothy Raymond, Lost and Found, and he says one thing that I can thank the Richti for. Under their control, my latent psionic powers became greatly enhanced. Lately, I have been able to sense the people around me. Not clearly, not completely, but still, the power is there. I can sense that somewhere, within the ranks of the Cray, a Richti spy lurks. Help me unmask and destroy this individual, and I will reward you quite well. So let's unmask the Richti spy. He says an ally. Kelly Urka. She works within the Cray. She's been seeking the spy's identity. So it says, ask Kelly about the spy, and what's almost certainly going to happen is we're going to get there and there will be a bunch of Richti in the lab, because after all, we're going to have to fight them in a mission, usually. So as we go, lots of stuff's been talked about in the D&D Beyond forums that I think pertains to this game as well in terms of character design and so forth. And I think one of the concepts I want to discuss is the idea of gimped characters. And what happens if you decide to play like a gimped power set or a gimped archetype, say in City of Heroes, and whether that's an issue and that kind of thing. And so let's start out by defining a gimped character. A gimped character is a character that is weaker than other characters of that type. Oh, this is not an internal mission, it's just talking to her. So, for example, martial arts was considered a gimped power set with scrappers because it didn't do secondary effects of the same type for every one of its powers. One power did knockback, one power did knockdown, one power did stun, one power did slow. And so it wasn't possible to stack the effects very easily, and that was different from, say, something like Dark Melee, where all of the powers do a minus accuracy and you could stack them. And so it was considered weaker because you couldn't stack the secondary effects. Also, it did smashing damage, and smashing is the most resisted type of damage in the game, so you're almost always going to be doing less than max damage because the enemy is going to resist it, and so the total damage you're doing every second to the enemy, the actual damage you're inflicting after the resistance is applied, is going to be lower, and so you're going to have to take more hits and do less secondary effects, and therefore it's considered by many to be a weaker offensive set. And so that's what somebody means by playing a gimped character. And I'm going to continue with that thought, but first let's talk to Kelly Urka. She says, thanks for coming, Nightmare Lass. At first I thought Timothy was crazy when he said there were Richti working at Cray. That is, until I did some digging. I uncovered the spy's identity, Thornbird. Thornbird used to be loyal to Cray. In fact, he was a Paragon protector, but lately his activities have been erratic. I think Thornbird was replaced some months ago by a Richti who was genetically altered to look just like him. I can't tell the company about this. It would cause an epidemic of panic. It's better that you just take out Thornbird without anyone knowing. So now to save the Cray, we're going to have to go fight the Cray. So I'm going to pause it here, and when we get to the mission, I will bring you guys back. Alright, we're back at the mission door. We are summoning our demons. And somebody's stupid enough as a Grey Con to attack enemies that are 5 levels above him. That was dumb. I'm not even going to worry about that, because they have no chance against my demons. So, the term gimp comes from limping. And so to walk with a limp is to be kind of gimped. And so, the idea is your character is quote-unquote limping. Oh, this is going to be really fun. Don't let Thornbird escape. Alright, well, my guess is Thornbird's going to try to run for the exit, but I don't know if it's this exit or some other exit. So we'll just have to see. We might lose this mission because I'm not sure exactly where we have to go to prevent him from escaping. So yeah, GIMP characters are characters that are weaker than they should be, weaker than other characters of a similar type. And so, if you're playing a weakened character, it's considered a gimped character. And so, let's talk about what does that mean in terms of City of Heroes. Well, the reality is in City of Heroes that pretty much any character can solo the regular content of the game at +0. Being able to do more than that, soloing at +1 or +2 or even +4 times 8, which means +4 levels and times 8 characters in terms of how the mission is scaled, that can be done, but it's not necessary to do that to have fun playing the game, and you certainly don't need to do it to run your missions. And so, when somebody says gimped in City of Heroes, the question is, what exactly are they talking about? Is this Thornburg? No. Are they saying you can't do your missions at all? Probably not. Or are they saying, well, you can't do +4 times 8 missions like I can? And I think that's one of the issues, is that when players talk about a gimped character, they're talking about whether a character can do not what it was designed to do, right, fighting even level enemies, but do way more than it was designed to do. And the reality is that no character in City of Heroes is going to be unable to do +0 missions. That's not an issue. Certainly not once you have SOs. That's just not an issue most of the time for most characters. The issue is, can you do +2s? Can you fight +3s? Can you fight ×3? That will vary by build, that will vary by archetype and power set, but you're not going to be unable to do your missions. It's just almost never going to happen. And so, when somebody's talking about being gimped in City of Heroes, or in just about any game, right, be wary of what they're really saying, right? When the internet tells you that a character class, or a power set, or an archetype, or something is gimped, they're talking about relative to something else, right? Being gimped is relative to something. This character in the abstract is just as powerful as she is. If we say, well, look, she's way less powerful than the Stalker, then she could be gimped compared to the Stalker that we had. But she can't just be gimped in the abstract because it's comparative, right? It's weaker than, or has less ability than another character. There he is, Thunderbird. Okay. See if we can teleport this medic over here. I just don't want to aggro Thunderbird. And mostly I don't want to get too close because then it might trigger him to flee. And then I gotta chase him down. And I'd really rather go do like an attack on him rather than have to chase him down. He's just a boss, not an elite boss, so that's good. Don't see anybody else around. So, in terms of listening to the internet when they tell you a character type is gimped, I would say don't. Right? What people on the internet are talking about is whether this character can... What happened? How did I fail it? He didn't go anywhere. He was right there. He didn't escape. Okay, I have no idea what happened there, because he wasn't moving. That's really weird. Alright, well, let's contact him. The Ricti spy escaped. You were to blame. You and I, Simpatico, never forget this. I would love to help you further. I remember little about my life, so this isn't going to affect the story at all, I guess. I remember little about my life before the loss, but I remember one person, my sister. We had twins, although I am now so altered that she would scarcely recognize me. I feel a connection to her. Last night, I felt a little sharp pang of panic. I believe Tina is in danger. Help his sister, so he will pay me well. Alright, so I'm just going to teleport over to the mission, since it's all the way on the other side of the zone. So getting back to gimped characters, I guess what I would urge people to do is, when you want to play a character, don't listen to what other people say about it being gimped, because they mean relative to what they're doing. Maybe they're doing, like, endgame rating, and if you're just playing a third level character, What do you care about how good it's going to be at endgame rating, right? It's irrelevant. So I would say that I'll go ahead and attack them. So I would say that play the character you want and don't worry if it's quote-unquote gimped, right? Because these people are talking about playing the game in a particular way, and if you don't play the game that way, if you don't want to play the game that way, it doesn't matter if your character's gimped, right? So like my character, Silver Phoenix, maybe couldn't do the Incarnate Trials, but since I never did the Incarnate Trials with her, why does it matter? It doesn't. So compared to all the people on my guild who were doing Incarnate Trials all the time, she was gimped. But what do I care? She wasn't gimped for what I was doing, which was playing individual missions. So I guess I just encourage people to make their own judgments about a character. If you like playing a character, do it. Don't listen to the internet. Most people on the internet who are talking about builds and whether something is gimped or not are talking about playing a very specific way, playing sort of high-end gaming, right? And most people don't really play that way. I was watching a game developer talking about, well, you know, what they're planning to do with their game. It's in early access. I won't name the game, it doesn't really matter. And he was talking about some of the features people wanted added. And he said, well, we're probably not going to add this feature. And let me explain why. He said, because the hardcore gamers think this would be fun. But that's only like maybe 10% of the audience. And 90% of the people who play this game are not hardcore gamers. And so if we give the hardcore gamers what they want, it's going to basically ruin the game for 90% of the customer base. And we're not going to do that. And I think the same thing is true, you know, if you think about gimping or whatever. The 90% of players don't play the way the people who are complaining about whether characters are gimped or not play the game. How many people who play City of Heroes have ever actually done the Incarnate Trials? I would bet it's not that many. And if I were to guess, I wouldn't be surprised if 80%, 90% of players have either never done it or maybe done it once or twice, and that's it. And they almost never do it, and they've done it with hardly any of their alts. And probably most of them just make alts, get them up to level 50, and then make another alt and get that alt to level 50. And if that's what you're doing... Oh wow, is this Malt? Oh no, it's Cray. If that's what you're doing, then it really doesn't matter if your character would be gimped if you were doing Incarnate Trials. Right? Because you're not doing them. It doesn't matter if your character would be gimped trying to play it a certain way if you don't intend to play it that way. And so again, I encourage people to play the character they want, do the thing that they consider fun. We've got a boss here, but I want to get rid of the lieutenant first. Do the thing you consider fun, do the thing you enjoy, and I'd better make sure I don't get stunned. And take some luck. And don't worry about whether people think your character is quote-unquote gimped. I have a friend who's playing in my D&D game and he's playing a sorcerer, and I think it is objectively true that the sorcerer as currently designed in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition is confusingly lackluster. It has too few spells, too few spell options. They tried to make the sorcerer be all about this thing called metamagic, but to be honest, the metamagic doesn't make up for the fact that they have very few spells. And so, consequently, now we're going to probably get ambushed here. Consequently, you could potentially say that compared to... Oh, I better try to keep our friend alive here. Compared to, say, wizards and other spellcasters, you could reasonably argue that sorcerers are gimped, which is certainly what this friend of mine thinks. And he has been struggling all campaign long. Is she going to follow me, or do I have to take stealth? Let me just take off stealth to be sure. He's been struggling all through our campaign, all campaign long, to try and convince me to put up optional rules, house rules, etc., to help reduce how gimped his character is. Now, I think there are problems with the sorcerer, but I also think that one of the things that bothers him is that he's playing a class that the internet agrees is gimped, right? And if it weren't for the fact that the internet was running around telling him how gimped his character is, he might not have noticed, and he certainly wouldn't be... And that was a waste of a teleport. He certainly wouldn't be as obsessed with it as he seems to be. He's constantly worrying about how gimped his character is, and I think the reason is that he's listening to the internet. And the internet has convinced him that everyone on the internet thinks his character is gimped, so therefore it is. And the reality is, what matters is not what the internet thinks. What matters is just... how does his character play at our gaming table? And the reality is his character has played absolutely fine at our gaming table. There hasn't been anything wrong with it. And so if his character is gimped compared to the rest of what the rest of the internet is doing, okay, well, maybe that's true, but who cares what the rest of the people who play D&D are doing? All that matters is what we're doing at our table. And if his character is contributing to the party and he's having fun, that should be it. That should be all that matters. And for the same reason, if you're having fun playing City of Heroes with your gimped controller or whatever it happens to be... She's stuck. If you're having fun with your gimped controller or whatever your character happens to be, don't worry that the internet says that this particular controller type is gimped or this particular archetype is gimped. Play what you want. And don't worry about whether somebody else on the internet thinks your character is gimped. Just don't worry about it. Wait a minute. What happened here? Are we not outside? How the heck did I end up trapped inside like this? And in a level 36 area, what's going on? See if I can turn invisible. I don't even know where the heck I am here. I'm probably gonna die. I don't know where I... Like, how did I get inside? Alright, well, I guess we're going to the hospital. It's a quick way to get back. Honestly, I don't know how the heck I got in there. I don't know. I mean, I put my minions away because when we arrived, we were outside, weren't we? So, I don't know. Why would it send a level 32 into a level 36 zone? I don't know. Scratch your head about stuff like that. I've never understood with City of Heroes why they do those sorts of things. Every once in a while... Yeah, let's send you up against purples. And level 32, not that bad, but they even do it in the teens sometimes, which is... They shouldn't do that, because it's a new player, potentially. Anyway, let's talk to our buddy. And he says... thank you for freeing my sister from the longbow vigilantes. I am sure there are good things ahead for her. So you're happy now? We didn't fail a mission. Nevertheless, I have an urgent matter to discuss. One of my contacts within Arachnos has tipped me off to a Cray experiment being conducted here in Nerva. Cray has several scientists investigating human memory, especially in cases where it has been corrupted due to psionic tampering. I want those scientists, and they may be able to help me with my memory. Because we're going to kidnap the scientists. We have no clues. This has got to be one of the newer story arcs, because again, I don't like this. There are no clues. It's just, here, go do a mission, here, go do another mission. They don't generally have anything to do with each other except that I'm giving them to you. That's not a story arc. Think about, like, how the Vampire story arc goes, or the Envoy of Shadows story arc, or the Wheel of Destruction, or the Scroll of Tieleku. Even Bonefire. They all have actual stories to them. And this doesn't. And I really wish they had stuck to the original model of their storytelling, which I thought was quite good and worked really well in the game. This just seems like a bunch of random street missions. This is like a bunch of random detective missions. You may as well not have this story arc because there really isn't any story to it. I don't know. I'm very disappointed in a lot of this content. I thought the villain content was pretty good when I played it in 2005, and maybe I'm just not playing the 2005 missions. Again, as I said in a previous episode, I have almost no memory of the specific missions that I played because I only played City of Villains through pretty much once. in 2005. But maybe this is why I played it once, because I just didn't like it. I always liked the hero side better. I thought it was better developed. I thought it had better stories. So, this villain's great, but I don't think I'm going to be playing any other villains. Incidentally, I wonder if demon summoning is considered gimped. I have no idea. And I wonder if pain is considered a gimped secondary as well. I don't know. Oh boy. No, let's back up. Alright, so we pulled somebody by accident, but that's okay. I just didn't want to get them all aggroed. Let's grab another one. He's orange, so that's why I downed a yellow pill. Oh wow, a +2 purple boss. My guys might not survive this fight. Let's see if we can pull that mob specialist. Got him. Just trying to make sure the boss isn't coming. Alright, now we're going to give Curly Hell on Earth. We're going to buff him. We're going to start Word of Pain. Do a self buff. Give Curly more damage. I'm still going to try to teleport this orange guy, but the boss may come. So just in case, we're prepping now. Yep, the boss came. That's alright. So we took out the minion, and now we go after the boss. This is going to probably be a brutal fight. Now we're doing alright. Get him, guys. Ah, that hold is so helpful. Look at that. Just kicked his butt. And that guy was worth 10,000 XP. Wow. Guess I gotta take... Oh, and I forgot to re-engage this, healing bubble. Kidnap the scientists. Alright, well, I'm kidnapping one guy. Let's go. That's easy. You're gonna come here. He's not coming. Why are you not coming? Come on. Come on. Alright, so what I'm going to have to do is put the minions over here, stop flying, and go very slowly to the entrance. This is why I utterly detest lead-out missions. It's ridiculous. Come on! Finally registered that I got him. Alright, boys, let's go. I wish there was a setting. And this is the ambush? That's hilarious. Like, way too late. We already took him out. You're way too late, boys. I wish there was a setting, right, in the options, where you could opt for old school kidnappings, which is just, you get them and then they disappear. Or new school kidnappings, where you have to lead them out, and I would just take the option to never lead anybody out, ever. I understand that it's supposed to be a challenge with the ambushes, but it's just annoying because the challenge isn't to defeat the ambushes. The challenge is dealing with the AI pathing, which is horrible. Oh boy, there's another boss. I guess we should pull. But we should be alright because he's not purple. Let's get the minion first. Help Larry. Alright. Let's give Rose some as defense. Alright, so this is the second scientist. And I guess the third one will be the third one's going to be on the next level, I would assume. Look at this, she can't even follow me running. And the problem is the pets, right? She's getting blocked by them, and then she ends up too far behind me and can't see me. But I can't leave the pets behind because I'm going to be ambushed. Right? And so I need the pets to defend me from the ambush. So this is just one way that the Mastermind is probably even worse for this leading out than any other archetype, just because of the pets and the fact that you can't leave them behind, but they're interfering with the NPC's ability to get to you. Stay there. This way she can, if anybody comes to me, they'll attack them. Come on. And just the fact that you've got to get them that close is just ridiculous. And once we cross this threshold here, it should count. I shouldn't have to run myself all the way to the door. I wonder where the ambush is. There it is. Too late, guys. Are they attacking? Come on, attack him. Alright, so let's see if we can go to the next floor and find this other kidnap victim that we're going to kidnap. I guess I'm gaming it a little here, but I assume they're not going to have another whole floor if we don't have any more victims to kidnap. Right? So my guess is the last victim will be on the last floor. So I'm kind of metagaming right now. Yep, I'll probably be in here. This is typically a last room. I'll let them attack while I look around. Oh, there's nobody in here other than the Cray. No scientists to kidnap. Usually this particular room is where the end of the mission is. Oh yeah, there we are. Alright, so let's teleport. Come on, teleport. Why is it not doing it sometimes? And now we're going to fight the Vigilant. Let's go ahead and give Curly Hell on Earth. And protect myself from Mez. And do World of Pain. And that is kicking his butt. going to defeat these guys here because they'll get in the way. Alright, we can stop flying and we can head back. See how he's getting caught up on my buddies? So that's the real problem. And it makes running these guys out even worse as a mastermind than as any other character type. And I thought it was bad as a stalker because you can't use hide. But with a mastermind, it's even worse because your pets block the NPC. Alright. Just going up 2 more floors. And we will be done with this mission, I believe. I don't think we have to clean everything else out. It just says to kidnap. Where is he? There he is. Okay. Boy, whoever's doing all that healing, I don't know if it's Larry, is doing a great job. Okay, scientist, 1 more level and we've got you out. Coming. And once again, I'm going to put my guys to the side so that they don't interfere, and we walk him out. And that's the mission. Hopefully we won't head out into a cave full of purples this time. Alright, let's call our contact. And he says, "You've done well, Nightmare Lass. Arachnos will keep those scientists you kidnapped on ice for a while. With any luck, they'll be able to restore my memories." Alright, we're going to stop there, guys, I think. We've had a long enough episode. We're at 32 minutes. I will see you next time. Until then, I am Scrapperlock, and this has been City of Villains.